That breeze consistently blowing. It's shifting quite a bit, so for the most part coming back into the hitters' faces, but every now and then it'll push back out towards the outfield. This one off the end of the bat to the second base side could be two. Taylor to shortstop for one. That gets away from Gavin Frazier, and the Sasquatch are going to pick up a run on an ill-advised error on the middle infield. So this is not a Sasquatch team you want to just hand runs to, but that's what the Zap defense has done here in the top of the first. 1-0 Spearfish. After a possible double play, turns into a toss out into shallow left field. Not what you want to see when you've had a pitcher struggling to find the zone. So now runners on first and third, still nobody out. Swing and a miss on the fastball for Braden Smith. Has Wingert ahead, 0-1. Softly hit over there to Cy Taylor, and that's one thing I've always been curious about when you flip the middle infield. As this one breaks in there, perfectly placed pitch for Wingert. 0-2 is the count. When you take a shortstop, put him at second, and put a second baseman over at shortstop, sometimes those transfers and tosses the other way can get a little bit difficult. Don't often see that out of Taylor and Gavin Frazier. Staying alive, here's Braden Smith. He fouls this one out of play over the right side. Double play still in order. Braden Smith, a tough guy to double up. Quick runner down that first base line. But if he hits it sharply, you know Frazier and Taylor would love to make up for that miscue that put the Squatch up 1-0. 0-2, pulled the string. There's that off-speed beauty, and it's the first out of the inning. First K of the day for Ryan Wingert. Braden Smith goes down swinging. That'll bring up third baseman Crew Muller, and a guy you got to be careful of. 6 home runs on the season for Muller. He's a .316 hitter. He's racked up 31 hits. Got the pant legs pulled up to the knee, baby blue socks. Here on this hot afternoon, they'll check over on first base. Grant Summers back diving safely. Might have been leaning towards second a little bit. Runner goes. This one up and in for a ball. So the double play is out of order now. 2 on, 1 out, top of the first inning. Sasquatch leading 1-0 after the middle infield error. This one swung on and missed. Good off-speed pitch. We've seen plenty of fastballs out of Wingert, but in these last 2 hitters, he's gone to the breaking balls, and they've been paying off. Evens up the count at 1 apiece. Wingert with the delivery. That one off the plate for ball 2. Fans continuing to make their way in. Good crowd, especially over in that general admission section where all the shade is today. 2-1 count. Here's the pitch from Wingert. Way up high. That'll bounce off the backstop, get away from Goethals, and Zap shooting themselves in the foot here in the top of the first inning has made it 2-0. Easily able to score from third was Malachi Lopez. Now Crew Muller having a conversation with home plate umpire John Benson. Want to make sure they get the count right. It's 3-1. Scoreboard reads 2-2. But it looks like they've been able to sort that out. This one misses high, says Benson. And Goethals with a little bit of intention behind his throw back to the pitcher. So Crew Muller had a conversation after the previous pitch with Benson, and now Goethals takes his turn to talk to our umpire behind the dish today. So now again, runners on first and third. Sasquatch have scored 2 here in the top of the first inning. Jamie Habiger has taken a couple steps out of that home side dugout. And that'll bring up Wilson Kiefer. Winger trying to work out of a jam. Goes back to the off-speed pitch and gets a called strike. Well, even though it's 2-0, there's never a lead that the Zap don't feel like they can claw their way out of. Runner goes, taking off for second. This off the bat towards short. First base is the only play. Frazier over to Ludvigsen, and that'll be the second out of the inning. It will score the runner from third, so Grant Summers makes it 3-0. Sacrifice is complete for Wilson Kiefer. And now the runner on second and 2 outs, Zach Perro will come up to the plate for the Sasquatch. And I have to imagine if you're Spearfish, this is exactly how you wanted this ball game to start. Kind of, if you're in that Spearfish dugout, 3 surprising losses to start this series. Spearfish feels like anytime they come and play it high, they're going to at least split the series. Baltimore chop over to third. Hopping and gloving is Melton. He'll fire to first, and that'll retire the side. But not before the Sasquatch bring 3 across. An error in the middle infield and a wild pitch allow the first 2 runs to score. Fielder's choice scores the 3rd run for Spearfish. They lead as we head to the bottom of the first. Now, we did mention huge series coming up this weekend. This has been a series victory on the stat sheet and also in the morale category for the Oahe Zap. Haven't taken a series from the Sasquatch in about 2 years. But it's all about the record with the Casper Spuds. Magic number is 3 for the Spearfish Sasquatch, and they've got a series coming up with Bison Baseball that they feel like will be the one that gets them into the championship series. It's all about what the Casper Spuds do. Casper's taken on Bison. They've won their last couple of games. As we take a look at the last couple of wins from Casper, they took games 1 and 2 of that series with Bison, winning 5-2 and 18-1 last night. And they will have game 3 of that series getting underway here in a couple minutes with Bison. Season record for Casper, 21-16. Zap currently sitting at 19-18. So if the Zap can win tonight, they'll move to 20-18. If Casper wins tonight, they'll move to 22-16. And then a 4-game series on the road might be, emphasis on might, what could decide the other championship series spot. Now, Casper will go to Spearfish for a 4-game set next Monday through Thursday, and that could certainly play a huge role. And if you're the Oahe Zap, you just hope that Spearfish maybe doesn't clinch that championship spot over the weekend. Maybe they've still got something to play for against Casper. Don't want to see them resting a bunch of arms. And I think if you're Jamie Habiger, you want to tell these guys, focus on the task at hand, and that task now is climbing out of a 3-0 deficit. Get our first look at number 12, Carter Beatty on the mound. As we mentioned, 7.61 ERA on the season. He'll throw 6 different pitches coming out of his arsenal. He's got 3 styles of fastball, a 4-seam, a 2-seam, and a cutter. Also throw a slider, a changeup, and a curveball. So a lot to deal with for the Zap hitters. 1, 2, 3 due up here in the bottom of the first. Gavin Frazier, Cy Taylor, and Ty Farwell. And we hope we get to 4, 5, and 6 in this bottom half of the first inning as well. First pitch behind him, foul into the netting. Battery today for the Sasquatch. Beatty will be thrown to Elijah Wyatt, who's been a tough competitor back there behind the dish throughout this series. This one chopped to the third base side, softly hit. Muller charging, gloves and fires. Dug out beautifully by Braden Smith over at first base. Beat him by a half a step. Tough play to make. Drew Muller getting to work early over there at the hot corner. First out of the inning will bring up Cy Taylor. From left to right in the infield for the Squatch. Muller, Grant Summers at short, Malachi Lopez at second. Smith over there at first base, flashing. Iandoli in left, Garrett Houston in center, and Wilson Kiefer out in right. Cy Taylor's been one of the best hitters for the Zap this season. He takes a fastball low for ball 1. Taylor set up towards the back half of that right-handed batter's box. Drives this one to the left side. This play will be made by Summers. He's got to charge. He's got to fire. Not in time as Cy Taylor legs out the infield single. That one was softly hit enough that even if Crew Muller had cut off Grant Summers, it was still going to be a near impossible play to cut down the speedy Cy Taylor. So with one out, Ty Farwell's got a runner on and a chance to move him around. First pitch to Farwell. Taylor with a long secondary lead will bounce back to first. That one high and away for ball one. Carter Beatty finds the upper half of the zone, and I think if that pitch was thrown to Dom DiCarlo or Gavin Frazier, two guys that aren't blessed with the size and height of Ty Farwell, that one might have been called a ball, but it catches the zone to the 6-foot-plus Farwell. 1-1 is the count. Farwell will take a ball on the outside corner.
You know, something interesting about Ty against a pitcher like this is when he gets a strike, he always gestures to his dugout what it was.
Yeah, I was just about to make that point. We saw that on Monday. I've seen it through the whole summer. He's always communicating with the on-deck hitter and everybody else waiting to come up. That one catches a piece of the inside corner. Couple murmurs from the Zap dugout as Ryan Wingard wasn't getting that call from Benson. Couple pitches from Wingard were really close on the corners, didn't get the call, but Beatty got the call there. 1-2 off speed, swung on and missed, and Farwell goes down for the first strikeout of Carter Beatty's afternoon. But this is where the Zap feel pretty comfortable hitting with 2 outs, and nobody's hit better than Connor Goldberg, who's coming up to the plate. .338 average on the season. He's got 25 hits to his name, and he has been a huge catalyst in some of the Zap's biggest wins of the season. Zap have just devastated opponents pitching with 2 outs. Would love to do that here. Cut into this lead. This one will be roped the other way. Diving pick on the play from Malachi Lopez, and that you just have to tip your cap to. Malachi Lopez showing off the leather, and he'll fire to first for the 3rd out of the inning. But the Zap are making some contact. We've got bats popping here at Hyde Stadium on a Wednesday evening. Sasquatch lead 3-0. We head to the top of the 2nd inning. You're listening to Zap Baseball on River 92.7 and drgnews.com.
At Darren Boyle Sales, I have the Bush Hog equipment on hand to help you with your spring projects. Right now, I have Bush Hog mowers on hand in sizes from 6 to 20 feet. Bush Hog rear-mounted blades, Bush Hog tillage equipment including 4 sizes of rear-mounted tillers, and Dixie Chopper zero-turn mowers on hand. 3 different models available with prices starting at $49.95. Check out my large selection of farm equipment at the lot on Sale Barn Road in Fort Pierre. Like the Darren Boyle Sales Facebook page or shop online anytime at darrenboylesales.com.
Ameriprise Advisors can work with you to provide personalized goal-based advice based on your short and long-term goals. Plus, you can track your investments and financial solutions with our digital tools and regular meetings. Call Ameriprise Financial Advisor Angie Teason with Wealth Partners, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC, at 605-224-6777. That's 605-224-6777. Office is located at 740 East Sioux Avenue, Pierre, South Dakota. Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
Sasquatch lead 3-0 as we head to the top of the 2nd inning. Some not so shiny plays from the Zap have allowed the Sasquatch to bring a couple of runs across there in the top of the 1st. An error in the middle infield. A wild pitch allowed the first 2 runs to score. It was 2 leadoff walks that got the wheels in motion for the Sasquatch, something that Ryan Wingard will look to stay away from here in the top of the 2nd. Hello, everybody. Justin Coward alongside Cortana Mancuso, Scott Colon back in the booth here on a steamy Wednesday afternoon, but this is just right compared to what we've dealt with the past couple of days. Monday night had to move the start time back a full hour, trying to let some of that heat reprieve. Nothing they could do about it yesterday. And a doubleheader on a makeup from earlier this summer. 4:30 start, and I can only imagine how warm it was out there in game one of that doubleheader. Ryan Wingard will start with an off-speed pitch to Elijah Wyatt. That one down and away, but swung on and missed. Wingard known for his fastball, but his off-speed pitch has been his best weapon here to start. This one roped up the middle, and that'll get past to diving Gavin Frazier. So into the outfield for a leadoff base hit. As they're already at the 9-hole hitter, Garrett Houston. Elijah Wyatt picking up a hit in just his 7th at bat here again, as we've mentioned a couple times. A lot of numbers headed back to college for the Spearfish Sasquatch. Got to fill in those spots in different places. Elijah Wyatt, one of those guys. First pitch, he did offer at that. So Wingard is ahead 0-1. No Sam Kwapnoski in the lineup today, but I was talking to him down on the field before first pitch, so we might see him in a reliever role this afternoon. This one drilled down the left field line, but the right-handed swing has it curving into the Sasquatch bullpen. A sliding attempt coming up empty was Connor Goldberg. Good effort on that play. But Wingard ahead 0-2. So maybe get a strikeout here, get a ground ball from Bo Iandoli, get a double play to get you out of it. Something to pick up a little bit of momentum. Try to climb out of this early 3-0 hole the Zappa found themselves in. Wingard with a little bit of a peek over the left shoulder to Elijah Wyatt. Up and in. Good waist pitch there from Wingard. Will be called for ball 1. Wingard hanging the right arm. Now coming set, working out of the stretch. This one roped down the right field line, but that one too is foul. So a good battle going here between Ryan Wingard and Garrett Houston. Elijah Wyatt, not exactly a stolen base candidate. He's got a short lead over there at first. Wingard's delivery beautifully blocked by Goethals back behind the plate, leaving up the count at 2 apiece. Quick bit of communication between the Zap battery of Goethals and Wingard. Houston has got his stance open. They'll check on Wyatt over at first. Ludvigsen catches, no tag as Wyatt dove back safely. As you look at the forecast, this might be our last long stretch of heat. This one chopped to the left side. Frazier going to the backhand. It's off his mitt and into left field. Wasn't going to be able to cut anybody down. He was just able to get to it and put some leather on it. So another infield hit for the Sasquatch. They've got him on first and second, nobody out, just like they did in the first, although this time it's 2 hits instead of 2 walks. So that'll bring up Bo Iandoli, another guy that you've got to be careful with. Don't want to be facing him with runners on and nobody out. Left-handed hitter set up square in the middle of the batter's box. Will turn and bunt, lays down a beauty, but it's fouled on the third base line. Cortana, you mentioned this on Monday night. You don't often see the bunt, but we're starting to see it a little bit more here as both of these teams try to find ways to manufacture runs.
Yeah.
Iandoli showed bunt in his first at-bat, couldn't put one down, showing it here in his second at-bat. Same result, but we're seeing the bunt more often.
Yeah, I was noticing that. There's been quite a few more bunts, and I'm wondering if it's because when they get it into the outfield, Dom DiCarlo and Manny Ely are out there really making those catches.
Yeah, a lot of speed out there. This one is a swinging bunt. This will be laid down to the third base side. Melton comes up firing, and he gets Iandoli, but the outcome is runners on second and third. So he couldn't lay the bunt down the traditional way, but as we mentioned, a swinging bunt that just clipped off the end of the bat, rolled so softly to Melton that his only play was to first. And that'll bring up Malachi Lopez with a base open, 1 out, runners on second and third. Squatch leading 3-0, and Wingard in some trouble here again.
And there's absolutely nobody that the fans want to see strike out more than Malachi Lopez.
Today was
Yes,
getting
he
some
is.
stuff taken care of for the broadcast beforehand. Heard them mention it, but didn't figure out who it was. But good to know. Cortana's always on top of it. First pitch from Winger down and away for ball one. Yeah, it's been a bad day to be a beer here at Hyde Stadium these last couple of days with the temperatures we've had, and of course, the Zap Summer Shandy's been a hot commodity as this one misses away for ball two. Couple times it looks like Goethals, when he's throwing the pitch back to Wingard, is going to walk out and have a chat with his starting pitcher. And as he crosses the threshold in front of home plate in those batter's box lines, he throws it and then turns around, walks back. Would love to see him go out and just kind of talk to Wingard. That one catches the outside corner for strike one. It's the top of the second inning, but this certainly feels like a huge at-bat in this ball game. If you can get Lopez out and keep those runners at second and third and somehow find a way to get out of this jam, it'll certainly flip the momentum. That one apparently just a bit outside. Steady and consistent breeze favoring the defense today. Here's the 3-1. Fouled off, back behind home, and the count is full. And that breeze wafting the American flag out in right center field. It's especially dense for right-handed hitters. It's going to be tough to leave the yard that direction out and left. Payoff pitch. Up and in, ball four, and he's walked the bases full. So now there's a force out at every base, but you got to deal with Grant Summers. Summers with an opportunity to add to his RBI total on the season. Just driven in one. He's scored twice, and Ryan Wingard would love to keep those stats right where they're at. Quinn Ludvigsen will play in on the first base side. He's got both feet on the infield grass. Mason Melton playing at normal depth. If it's hit sharply enough, you can come home with it. This first pitch inside for ball one. Interested to see how long the leash for Ryan Wingard is held by Jamie Habiger here today. 3 runs on 2 hits, couple of walks. This one driven out to Ely and right. He's going to have to get on his horse. Back to the warning trap, leaping. It's in and out of his glove, and this is going to score a few. Ely comes up throwing. 2 runs are in. Throw going to third, and it's not in time as Malachi Lopez is in standing safely. Manny Ely had it as he leaped up into the air a couple steps shy of the warning track, but it popped out of his glove, and it's 5-0 Spearfish. Sharply and well hit there by Growers. Put a little bit of air underneath it, and that's one that Ely will wish he had back. It was going to score at least 1 run. If anything, though, Manny Ely with the play was able to keep runners on pause for a little bit. The first pitch is swung on and missed by Braden Smith for strike 1. Ely stuck that left-handed glove, or that glove on his left hand, I should say, up in the air as he was sprinting back towards the wall. Popped in and out. This off the tip of the glove, backhanded and through from Cy Taylor. It's Cy Taylor's second error in the first 2 innings, and 2 runs will score. Throw to home gets away from Goethals, and Braden Smith will get to second base. And all the momentum, all the pretty play that the Zap have put together in the first 3 games of this series is gone. It's 7-0 Sasquatch here in the top of the second inning. Jamie Habiger will go out and have a chat with Ryan Wingard. And frustration all around. Ryan Wingard having a little bit of difficulty finding the zone. When he does find it and balls are put in play, his defense is letting him down. "7-0 Sasquatch here in the top of the second inning. And the hole continues to get dug deeper and deeper by this Zap defense. That'll be the second error of the afternoon, carded to Cy Taylor. We'll have to check the stat sheet, though, if that error in the first inning was given to Gavin Frazier or Taylor. That toss on the double play attempt was a little bit awry, but it was close enough that Frazier could have made the play on it. So runner on second base, still just one out. 7 runs on 3 hits for the Sasquatch is not exactly what Habiger had in mind here for the first 2 frames for his Zap defense. Wingard takes a look back at Smith on second base. First pitch is inside to Crew Muller. And not to disparage or pour on Cy Taylor, but he approached that ground ball a little bit too casually. Didn't really get in front of it or make the effort looked like he needed to position his feet in front and get his body in front of that ball. Lifted his head up a little bit, much like when I top my drives out of Dunes Golf. Lifting the head up and catching just the last groove on the bottom, and that tee shot goes about 15 yards. Wingard came back with a strike, 1-1 count, swung on, fouled off the end of the bat. No, they're not going to say it was fouled. It gets away from Goethals, and that's allowing Braden Smith to get over to third. But Wingard ahead, 1-2. And it's kind of hard to say in a 7-0 deficit that you need to keep that runner at third. Wingard with a deep breath, 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. And apparently that one was fouled off. The one before wasn't. That allowed Smith to get to third. Muller able to stay alive in the right-handed batter's box. One, two, way outside, 2-2. Well, if we're going to find the bright side of this rough start for the Zap, as this one's cued off the end of the bat, fouled on the first baseline. Zap have scored their fair share of runs over the past couple of games and weeks. They put up 10 against Spearfish yesterday in Game 2, 13 in Game 1. Against Bison, they scored a combined 20 runs in their Friday and Saturday ball games. 2-2 count. Wingard set and delivers. This one roped into right field. Ely dives and makes an unbelievable grab. He'll throw in. Runner will stay put at third. It pops over the head of Goethals, but wisely backing it up was Ryan Wingard. Not to say the play that Manny Ely dropped out and right was routine, but it was 10 times easier than that one was, and that's an early candidate for our Rounds Financial Services right on the money highlight. Manny Ely making an all-around great play. Rounds Financial Services, where your money works for you. It's the second out of the inning. And it brings up Wilson Kiefer. First pitch to Kiefer, high for ball 1. And you said it, that outfield duo in center and right between Dom DiCarlo and Manny Ely, they could put together a SportsCenter top 10 reel just between the two of them. This one chopped to the shortstop, Frazier. He'll glove, he'll fire, and that will end a long second inning. We head to the bottom half of it, though. 4 runs brought across by the Sasquatch on a couple hits and another error. It's 7-0 Spearfish. Zap have some work to do. We'll see if they can get to it here after this break on River 92.7 and DRGnews.com.
Since 1894, Ameriprise Financial has worked for their clients' futures, helping millions of Americans retire on their terms. I'm Rick Doctor, a financial advisor with Wealth Partners, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC. I remain true to the vision of always putting clients first. I am ready to help you get where you want to be. Offices located at 740 East Sioux Avenue, Capitol Creek Center, Pierre, South Dakota. Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC. Member FINRA and SIPC.
Your best round of the year is waiting for you just 1 mile north of Fort Pierre on Highway 1806 at Dunes Golf. Play 9 or 18 holes, pay by the round, save with a punch card, or become a member for unlimited play. And Dunes Golf is a great location for group outings or a summer play day. Call 605-223-2525 or see golfdunes.com. 18 holes and a driving range beautifully nestled alongside the Missouri River. It's Dunes Golf.
Time for the Zap Bats to get going here in the bottom of the second inning. They trail 7-0 after some, well, for lack of a better term, some ugly play out in the field. However, they have well made up for it over the past couple of weeks. They've already won this series against Spearfish, which is the feather in the cap. But if you're Jamie Habiger, every single game is oh so important as you try to make a push to the championship series. They got a 4-game series coming up, which will get underway tomorrow against Casper. And that right there could be the turning point and the decider in the season. You've already picked up 3 out of 4 in Casper in your last road trip out there. And another series like that would keep the hopes alive for the Oahe Zap. Quinn Ludvigsen will lead things off in the bottom of the second inning for the Zap. He'll watch one bounce into the chest of Elijah Wyatt. And with no home runs on the season for Quinn Ludvigsen, we've been trying to just will one out of the park for him. Been talking to him before games saying today's the day as Beatty paints the outside corner for strike one. Ludvigsen stands in the left-handed batter's box on the season, hitting .262. This one framed, but to no avail for Benson, as Wyatt couldn't pull it back into the zone quickly enough. Ludvigsen ahead 2-1. Don't got to get them all back in one inning, but you just got to start chipping away slowly but surely. Ludvigsen, who's shown he can go opposite with the bat, has a huge gap in left center, but he grounds it sharply to second. Backhand on the backup by Malachi Lopez, and he'll fire to first. And he made a tough play look routine for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up Mason Melton. This is Mason Melton's last game here at Hyde Stadium in the 2026 summer. He has got to hit the road and head back to the University of Pikeville after this one's all said and done. So they want to go out with a bang for Melton, who has been a huge component to this team all summer. First pitch to Melton. Chopped softly down the third baseline and foul. Jamie Habiger down on the third base coach's box, blowing bubbles, trying to keep his team up. As Melton loops this one to the second base side, curling underneath it is Malachi Lopez, and it's 2 quick outs. As Carter Beatty, working with a massive lead, seems pretty comfortable out there on the bump. So that'll bring up Don DeCarlo. DeCarlo's been outstanding both offensively and defensively. 6 of his 34 hits have been doubles. See if the Zap can get a little 2-out magic going here. First pitch to DeCarlo, catches a piece of the inside corner for strike one. And I think Ryan Wingard's got to be sitting in the Zap dugout right now, throwing his hands up in the air. Wondering why he hadn't gotten that call from Benson. That one's surely a ball in the dirt. A lot of life on the fastball from Carter Beatty. Beatty is normally a reliever. But he's getting the start today as this one's chopped over, and a nice right-handed play made by Jamie Habiger. Looking for a place to dispose of that baseball. Whips it over to Augie Goethals, who wasn't ready for it in the on-deck circle. And it brings out a little sarcastic laugh from Habiger. DeCarlo with a Jeff Bagwell-like wide stance in the right-handed batter's box. 1-1 count, 2 out, nobody on. Delivery from Beatty, swung on and missed, and I guess that was strike 3. There was 2 strikes after the foul ball, that's correct, and it's another 1-2-3 inning as the Zap come up empty in the bottom of the second. Well, there's still a couple home games left for the Oahe Zap here in the summer of 2026. If they can somehow scrap together a comeback and win this one, then they'll continue to keep the opportunity for the home championship series open. However, the odds are stacked against them. The Spearfish Sasquatch sitting at 29-9 would essentially need to lose out the rest of their games, and the Zap would have to win out the rest of their games. The magic number is at 3. Was at 3 when they came into the series, but the great play of the Zap has kept them right in contention. So if I was a betting man, you would say that the championship will be played in Spearfish. But the Zap will have 4 more home games and 2 more right here on River 92.7, which will be next week when they welcome in the Bison Baseball Club. As we got some tug-of-war taking place in the mid-inning game. And the team with more Gettysburg baseball players won it. That's just the power of numbers. The shorthanded team had a little bit more size, but size in numbers wins it on the tug-of-war. All 6:05 starts next week against Bison here at Hyde Stadium. Stay tuned on our local sports page at drgnews.com for our updated broadcast schedule. Ryan Wingard back out on the mound. He's given up 3 hits and 7 runs. 2 errors for the Zap have kind of turned a mountain into a molehill in terms of offense. It was 2 leadoff walks in the first inning that got the parade of runs started in that 3-inning frame for the Squatch, and then 2 leadoff hits for Spearfish in the second would lead to 4 runs. So we'll see if Wingard can get locked in here, facing a tough part of this lineup. Leading off and due up here in the third will be 7, 8, 9, and then back to the top of the order. Zach Porro stands upright in the right-handed batter's box. First pitch from Wingert went to the curve, missed down and away for ball 1. Wingert's 56th pitch is called for a strike. 33 strikes on his 56 pitches, so he's been putting the ball in the zone. 1-1, misses inside for ball 2. He hasn't gotten much help from his defense. 2-1 pitch, catches the corner for strike 2 to even up the count. But again, plenty of baseball left if you're the Zap to try to chip away at this lead. You've shown that you can put the ball in play. It's just been the Sasquatch defense making some marvelous plays with the leather. 2-2 count, nobody on, nobody out. This one ripped down the third baseline, foul. Seven runs, only 2 earned for the Sasquatch here today. And that, Jamie Habiger is fine with runs being scored against his squads. It's going to happen in the ILB. There's a lot of great hitters in this league. It's the unearned runs that make you want to pull out the hair. Here's the 2-2 again. This one down and away in the dirt. And at all costs, you've got to avoid leadoff walks if you're Ryan Wingard. That's what got you in the first inning, and he's fallen behind here. Full count to Zach Porro. Got to put one in the zone. Couldn't do it, and it's a leadoff walk again for the Sasquatch. Nobody up and moving around in the bullpen for the Zaps, so Jamie Habiger is going to let Ryan Wingard just kind of coast this one out. See if he can get a ground ball here from Elijah Wyatt. Trying to get the Zap to turn 2. Wingard peeks over at first, now sets his sights on Wyatt. First pitch over the top of the head of a Sasquatch right-hander for ball 1. Seen some great starts over the last 3 games from the Zap starting rotation. 1-0 pitch in there for strike 1. As we mentioned, you go back to Monday night, River Walters had a great start, 6 innings pitched, kept the Sasquatch scoreless, handed it off to Cy Taylor. And the 13-3 victory was Pierce Hollowell. As Wingard pulls the string, gets a swing and a miss for strike 2. Hollowell only had to work 4 innings in that first game yesterday. Only gave up 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, and he struck out 4. And he got ahead, did Wingard, and he hits him on the arm. That's just kind of been how this game has started. Ryan Wingard got ahead 1-2, and then he put one into the left arm of Elijah Wyatt, and now yet again, runners on first and second, nobody out here for the Sasquatch offense, and a meeting at the mound will bring in Quinn Ludvigson. It'll bring in Mason Melton and Augie Goethals. Trying to settle down Wingard. That's the thing, it's easy to score runs if you're the Sasquatch when you put runners on base without anybody retired. And this is the worst time to do so. You got Garrett Houston in the 9-hole coming up, and then the potent 1, 2, and 3 of Bo Iandoli, Malachi Lopez, and Grant Summers. So Ryan Wingard desperately needs a ground ball here. Squaring early and showing bunt is Houston. He'll lay it down, could go to third, but instead Wingard will underhand toss to first, and that'll be the first out of the inning. So Pero and Wyatt will move up to second and third. And we'll see what they want to do with Bo Iandoli here in the leadoff spot. You got a base open. Iandoli has showed bunt in his first 2 at-bats, was unable to lay it down. He had runners on first and second back in the second inning. Trying to lay down a bunt, it rolled foul, and then he turned to swinging and laid down the swinging bunt, which was able to advance the runners. First pitch swung on and missed. Good off speed by Wingard, and he's ahead 0-1. Iandoli walked in his first at bat, grounded out on a fielder's choice in his just grounded out, but was, as we mentioned, able to move those runners over. The 0-1 from Wingard is ripped to the second base side. Cy Taylor sticks the glove out. He fields it. It'll allow the run to score, but they do retire Iandoli at first, and that makes it 8-0 Spearfish. A little bit surprised, maybe not to see the infield in on that one. However, that did pay off for Jamie Habiger. Had he had the infield back, that would have certainly gotten through for a base hit. Beautiful stab by Taylor over there at second. But the last thing you want to do if you're the Zap is continue to fall deeper and deeper behind and bring in a mercy rule into play, not give your offense enough innings to strike a comeback. First pitch is in there for strike 1 to Malachi Lopez. Lopez thought that was off the plate, but again, that pitch by John Benson has been getting called a strike, mainly for Carter Beatty, and Ryan Wingard happy to see that one howled out for a strike. 0-1, Wingard ahead, 2 outs, runner on third. This one lined out into center. Dom DeCarlo slowly trots in. He'll camp underneath it. And for the third straight inning, the Sasquatch bring a run across. They lead it 8-0. Zap got to get some offense going here in the bottom of the third. See if they can wake up the bats here at Hyde Stadium as they go for the 4-game sweep against the first place Spearfish Sasquatch We've seen it before. Hopefully we'll see it again. We'll be back after this on River 92.7 and streaming live on drgnews.com.
Ameriprise Advisors can work with you to provide personalized goal-based advice based on your short and long-term goals. Plus, you can track your investments and financial solutions with our digital tools and regular meetings. Call Ameriprise Financial Advisor Angie Teason with Wealth Partners, the private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC, at 605-224-6777. That's 605-224-6777. Office is located at 740 East Sioux Avenue, Pierre, South Dakota. Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
At Darren Boyle Sales, I have the bush hog equipment on hand to help you with your spring projects. Right now, I have bush hog mowers on hand in sizes from 6 to 20 feet. Bush hog rear-mounted blades, bush hog tillage equipment including 4 sizes of rear-mounted tillers, and Dixie Chopper zero-turn mowers on hand. 3 different models available with prices starting at $49.95. Check out my large selection of farm equipment at the lot on Sale Barn Road in Fort Pierre. Like the Darren Boyle Sales Facebook page or shop online anytime at darrenboylesales.com.
Eight, 9, and 1 due up here for the Zap in the bottom of the third. They've got a hole to climb out of, but if anybody can do it, it's the home team here. Hello, everybody. Justin Coward alongside Cortana Mancuso. Scott Cologne back in the booth, keeping us up on air this afternoon. 8-0 Sasquatch after the Oahe Zap playing some very uncharacteristic defense, making some mistakes. It was an error in the middle infield on an attempt to turn 2 that kept the inning moving along. Sasquatch would score 3 there. A wild pitch would allow a run to score in the first as well. Manny Ely looked like he was going to make a running grab out and right in the second inning, but it just popped out of his glove as he was charging back towards the wall. As the first pitch down and away for ball 1 to Goethals. Cy Taylor had one sneak underneath his glove on a backhand attempt that allowed more runs to score. Goethals swings and misses through that fastball. Zap trying to mount a comeback and do something they haven't done, and this is a good start as this one's lined into center, but a diving snag by Garrett Houston. And the Zap just can't get anything to go their way. Granted, Houston was playing Goethals in, but it still required another diving catch. We've seen a couple here this afternoon. Garrett Houston, the latest player to make a great play. Saw this guy, Manny Ely, make a great play out in right field. He made a diving grab that saved a run for the Zap, and now he climbs into the right-handed batter's box. What a treat this guy's been to watch this year. Manny Ely as he takes ball 1 in the dirt. And a game-winning home run a couple games ago. It wasn't a walk-off because the homer came in the 8th inning, but to win that game over Bison 9-8, continue the momentum coming down the line. Ely will take a strike on the inside corner. Ely's got innate speed, even better personality. Love talking to him, just being around him always brings up the mood a little bit. This one chopped down the third base line, and smartly waiting on it was Crew Muller as he let it bounce foul. And you talk about the speed from Manny Ely. It was a Baltimore chop that was sent straight down in the dirt in front of home, took a high hop towards Muller. By the time he got his glove on it, Ely was already hitting the brakes past first base. He is lightning fast. Love to get him on the base paths and show off some of that speed. Beatty working from the windup. This one popped down the first base line, giving chase is Braden Smith, but he'll run out of room. 1-2 is the count, 1 out, nobody on here in the bottom of the third. We've yet to see the uni combo, at least here on River 92.7 this summer, that the Zap have today. The blue pinstripes with the bright yellow tops and bottoms. That one is called for strike 3 by John Benson. And some aggravated Zap players letting Benson hear it. And some Zap fans following up their home team. That was on the zone, and I think if we had ABS here in the ILB, Manny Ely would put a hole in the top of his helmet banging on the top of it. But either way, it's the second out of the inning. Ely will go down looking. That brings up the top of the lineup and Gavin Frazier. First pitch in there for strike one to Frazier. Frazier, another good summer here in Hyde in the city of Pierre, hitting .294 check swing and no appeal down to first. They're going to say he went to John Benson. Didn't even check with Pullman down the first base line. Frazier kind of held his bat on the check swing to show that he didn't cross the threshold, but Benson said he went, and that's the final say. 0-2 count to Frazier, 2 outs, nobody on here in the bottom of the third. Beatty cruising along, and this one's chopped foul towards the Sasquatch dugout. You almost wonder if maybe the Zap are looking ahead to the weekend series. This one's off the plate for ball one. And you can't really blame them. I mean, you had 3 outstanding wins here at home in the first 3 games of this series. It was only originally supposed to be a 3-game set, but that makeup forced it to be a 4-game series. This one's chopped foul in the same direction. Beautiful play in the dugout by a Sasquatch player. Well, it looked like it was Kendrick Aragon sticking the right bare hand out and making the grab as it bounced over the netting. But you heard Jamie Habiger say it in the pregame. This weekend series against Casper, set for 4 tomorrow through Sunday, might be the biggest series in the Zaps' history. Gavin Frazier takes the off-speed pitch, and it's called strike 3. Frazier flips the bat in frustration, and that frustration is starting to rattle through everybody here at Hyde Stadium. Zap can't put anybody on. It's another 1-2-3 inning. We head to the top of the 4th. Zap trying to keep the Sasquatch right where they're at. Frazier howling in disgust. Jamie Habiger wanting to have a chat maybe about that ball that bounced down the third base line. We'll fill you in more on the discussion between head coach Jamie Habiger and home plate umpire John Benson right after this break. You're listening to Zap Baseball on River 92.7 and also streaming live on drgnews.com.
Since 1894, Ameriprise Financial has worked for their clients' futures, helping millions of Americans retire on their terms. I'm Rick Doctor, a financial advisor with Wealth Partners, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC. I remain true to the vision of always putting clients first. I am ready to help you get where you want to be. Offices located at 740 East Sioux Avenue, Capitol Creek Center, Pierre, South Dakota. Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
Your best round of the year is waiting for you just 1 mile north of Fort Pierre on Highway 1806 at Dunes Golf. Play 9 or 18 holes, pay by the round, save with a punch card, or become a member for unlimited play. And Dunes Golf is a great location for group outings or a summer play day. Call 605-223-2525 or see golfdunes.com. 18 holes and a driving range beautifully nestled alongside the Missouri River. It's Dunes Golf.
8-0 Sasquatch here as we head to the top of the 4th inning as the Oahe Zap just trying to kind of figure out a couple things across the way. The defense hasn't been what we're used to. It's not been the Oahe Zap brand here in the first couple of innings. And Jamie Habiger having a talk with John Benson, the home plate umpire. He thought that Manny Ely ground ball down the third base line might have been gloved in foul territory. It was certainly close. And I think he's also having a conversation about some of the balls and strikes called, and Benson might have heard him as the first pitch does catch the outside corner for strike 1. And hate to feel like we're keep laying on John Benson. We're very grateful that he's here. It's just been a couple pitches here and there that have been called strikes as this one's grounded sharply to the third base side and past the backhanded glove of Mason Melton. So Grant Summers will lead things off here in the fourth with a leadoff single. Fourth straight inning, the Sasquatch had put the first hitter on. It was a walk in the first, a hit in the second, a walk in the third, and now a hit in the fourth. And I think the frustration's starting to boil over for everybody in the first base dugout. And that'll bring up Braden Smith. First pitch to Smith, down and away, ball one. Only 3 of the 8 runs brought across by the Sasquatch have been earned. Runner goes, taken off for second. Gothel's throw down is not in time. So the double play is out of order. The pitch was a strike, so it'll even up the count at 1 apiece. Still no work in the Zap bullpen as Wingard misses down and away for ball 2. And that's always the chess match you have to play as a head coach. You want to give your team the best opportunity to win a ball game, and it's not that Wingard has been bad. 75 pitches, 45 strikes, and 30 balls. This one's grounded towards the shortstop, Gavin Frazier. He'll come up, he'll bobble, and it's another Zap error. Not really sure what to say at this point. It has just been a Zap defense kicking the ball around. Third error, a couple more missed opportunities that are carded as hits. If you didn't have as generous of a scorekeeper, you might have 5 errors on the board through the first 3 innings. So now runners on first and second. That'll bring up Crew Muller. He'll turn to bunt. This one bounced into the chest plate of Gothel's. He loses it for a second, but finds it underneath him. This one far from over, but if there is one thing that the Zap have done well, especially in the latter half of this season, it's getting off the mat after some ugly losses. Bounce back from a 14-8 loss to the Bison Baseball Club to win 2-0 in a pitcher's duel against the Sasquatch here in Game 1 of this series. Beautiful bunt laid down. Wingard will charge, only play to first, and he throws it almost up the first base line, but luckily for Wingard, Quinn Ludvigsen has got long arms, and he stabs it out of the air for the first out of the inning, but it does allow the Sasquatch to get runners to second and third. And again, for the 4th straight inning, the Sasquatch have a runner on second and a runner 90 feet away. They've put runners on in their first 2 hitters each of these 4 innings. And it has just put Ryan Wingard in a tough spot from the beginning. First pitch to Wilson Kiefer, down and away for ball 1.
I think we're all hoping to see a little bit of the Zap magic that we got yesterday. We had a lot of good things happen in the 4th inning, and hopefully we can get some of that today again.
That's right. Zap fell behind 3-0 yesterday, bounced back, scored 4 in the 4th, and then 9 in the 5th, as this one's called for a strike on the outside corner. Zap defense just looking a little lackadaisical out there this afternoon. Could in part be played 3 games in 2 days in tremendous heat. This one's just slapped the other way. Cy Taylor tracking back. That's going to drop down for a base hit. 9th run comes across for the Sasquatch. It's the 4th hit of the ball game, and it's 9-0 Spearfish, and everything seeming to go the Sasquatch's direction. Wingard is understandably very visibly frustrated, and now a couple bodies are making their way down to the Oahe Zap bullpen. Looks like that might be Brock Butcher out of University of Pikeville, going down to get loosened up. Same place that Mason Melton plays his collegiate baseball. But you got to tip your cap to the Sasquatch. They're taking advantage of these missed opportunities and errors committed by the Zap defense. First pitch swung on and missed by Parra for strike one. And looking back at some of these earlier losses, that 3-2 loss to Bison Baseball in game one of that four-game series, that was 2 here at home, 2 on the road, as Wilson Kiefer will steal second. Pitch was outside for ball one. They got off the mat after that one. Won an 11-9 thriller. 1-1 pitch is ripped down the third base line, taps on top of the bag, and it's fair. This will score 2, and Kiefer will stop at first, and it's 11-0 Sasquatch. And the snowball is turned into an avalanche. And you kind of feel for Ryan Wingard. He can't really catch a break. Aiden Johnson, assistant coach, is going to go out and have a chat with his starting pitcher. We're going to take a quick break here on River 92.7. Be back after this with more from the 4th inning here at Hyde Stadium.
Since 1894, Ameriprise Financial has worked for their clients' futures, helping millions of Americans retire on their terms. I'm Rick Doctor, a financial advisor with Wealth Partners, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC. I remain true to the vision of always putting clients first. I am ready to help you get where you want to be. Offices located at 740 East Sioux Avenue, Capitol Creek Center, Pierre, South Dakota. Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC.
So the meeting at the mound has commenced. Aiden Johnson with some words for his starting pitcher and the entire infield. And it's, again, we talked about this massive Casper series coming up starting tomorrow. A lot of baseball slammed into the month of July. Only 3 days off, and they came back to back to back. July 7th through the 9th here for the Zap. And maybe a little bit of anger being taken out by the Sasquatch offense after losing the first 3 games of this series. First pitch is called low for ball one. Elijah White in the right-handed batter's box. Wingard delivers, and it's another base hit. This one lined in the left. Connor Goldberg will come up with it. Sasquatch with runners on first and second with 1 out. So that'll bring up Garrett Houston, 286 hitter for the Sasquatch here this summer. Another new face. Plays at Highland Community College. Not exactly built like your average center fielder. Tall and lanky as he takes a first pitch strike. Well, the tall length certainly aids him with a lot of speed. So he's able to move around much like the Zap outfield. Love this trio from left to center to right. As this one falls in for strike 2, well placed on the off-speed pitch from Wingard. Some of the fastest outfielders you'll find in the ILB, from Connor Goldberg to Dom DeCarlo and then Manny Ely and Wright. Wingard ahead 0-2. Inside and down for ball one. Houston was trying to steal a hit by pitch there, sticking out the left knee, but didn't clip him. Bigger strike zone for a 6'3" Garrett Houston. Houston won't offer at the off-speed pitch off the plate. Count evened up at 2 apiece. And with the Zap kind of have their season riding on this weekend series, as this one softly fisted down into shallow center for another base hit. Dom DeCarlo will field and fire in. Everybody moves station to station now with 1 out. Bases are loaded, and the Zap, who have already had this thing blown wide open, in danger of really falling behind big time. And that looks like it'll be the end of the line for Ryan Wingert. Jamie Habiger will come out and pull the starting pitcher. We'll fill you in on Ryan Wingert's stats when we come back from this break and tell you who the new Zap hurler will be. 11-0 Sasquatch here in the top of the fourth inning. 3 runs across here in this frame, 1 out. We'll see if the Zap can keep it where it is. After this break, you're listening to Zap Baseball on River 92.7 and streaming live on drgnews.com.
Hey, baseball fans, if you're looking for a podcast that is sports and only sports, then come on into Cowart's Corner. We tackle all the big storylines going on in the world of sports, whether it be football, basketball, baseball, softball, hockey, whatever it is. If it's sports, we cover it. So if you're looking to unwind and have a good time, come into Cowart's Corner with me and my dog Charlie on drgnews.com or wherever you find your podcasts. Your best round of the year is waiting for you just 1 mile north of Fort Pierre on Highway 1806 at Dunes Golf. Play 9 or 18 holes, pay by the round, save with a punch card, or become a member for unlimited play. And Dunes Golf is a great location for group outings or a summer play day. Call 605-223-2525 or see golfdunes.com. 18 holes and a driving range beautifully nestled alongside the Missouri River. It's Dunes Golf.
These days, people consume information at different times of day and through a variety of different platforms. That's why DRG Media Group's AM and FM radio stations, drgnews.com website, and DRG mobile app provide local news, sports and weather, music and entertainment news, area high school athletic events, and more. But as members of your community, we want to hear from you too. Are you not hearing what you want to hear? Do you have an event coming up that you need advertised? Then let us know by using the Contact Us feature on the drgnews.com website or on the DRG News app. You can send us a song request, a news or sports item, a request for advertising information, and more. Fill in your information, select which type of inquiry you have, provide the relevant details, then click Submit. We make qualifying information available to the public using our DRG Media Group radio stations, drgnews.com website, and DRG News mobile app. Thanks to our advertisers, it's all available to you for free. drgnews.com and the DRG News app are updated throughout the day, so check back often.
New pitcher on the mound is Brock Butcher. Butcher making his 3rd appearance here this summer for the Oahe Zap as Ryan Wingert's day is done. Fill you in on those stats here. Butcher plays his summer baseball here, and also another player out of University of Pikeville. So Butcher will come in relief for Ryan Wingert, who had a tough day. There's nothing seeming to go the direction for the Oahe Zap. Wingert went 3 1/3 innings pitched, gave up 8 hits, 11 runs, 5 earned. Had 3 errors behind him. Walked 5, struck out 1. Gotten a fan appearance up in the broadcast booth. My buddy Charlie, who you just heard the Cowart's Corner tag play, has made his way up here. And he's doing a little cleaning on the floor as Bo Iandoli digs in. First pitch from Butcher is outside for ball 1. This one is fouled the direction of Capitol Avenue to even up the count at 1 apiece. Bases loaded for Bo Iandoli. 1 out, 1-1 count. Iandoli has squared the bunt a couple times today. Didn't get to lay one down. He's walked once. He's grounded out. And he swings and fouls this one off the end of the bat as Butcher's ahead 1-2. And Charlie and Natalie making their way up to the broadcast booth, getting us some cold drinks on a hot day, so we say thank you to Natalie. Although if she doesn't make it, it's just not as good. Iandoli behind 1-2. Pitch from Butcher is lifted high and deep down the right field line, but the wind pushing that one foul. Iandoli will stay alive, looking to do some more damage. Not exactly the situation you want to inherit if you're Brock Butcher. Bases loaded, one out. Iandoli shreds this one past Quinn Ludvigsen, and that'll score a couple. Ely bobbles it in right, and everybody will stay. So Phil Demas, the third base coach, thought about sending that runner home from third, but it makes it 12-0. Sasquatch are just hitting everything, whether it's soft or hard. They're finding holes in this defense. That'll bring up Malachi Lopez. Malachi has scored twice today, walked twice. And he pops the first pitch he sees up into shallow right. Manny Ely loses the hat coming in. Runner will tag from third. Throw is cut off by Ludvigsen, and they might have wanted to let that one get through. They throw back down to second base. Backsliding safely was Garrett Houston. But it allowed Elijah Wyatt to score, and that was going to be a bang-bang play. But Ludvigsen opted to cut that one off instead of letting it get to Goethals, and it makes it 13-0. So now I think if you're Jamie Habiger, your focus has kind of shifted to maybe trying to win this ball game, which, again, we've seen some crazy things happen here at Hyde Stadium. But more so trying to preserve some arms and see how far Butcher can get you. As this one is bounced in front of Goethals, it'll get by him into the backstop. Goethals can't find it, and coming all the way from second to score is Garrett Houston. I'm a little bit at a loss for words right now, to be completely honest with you.
It feels like after they took the series, they kind of have just been letting up a bit.
You know, I'm wanting to choose my words wisely here, but this just does not feel like a very spirited performance from the Oahe Zap as Butcher paints the outside corner for strike one. So it's 14-0 Sasquatch, a sixth spot hung up here by Spearfish in the fourth inning. Now, Ryan Wingard struggled a little bit in the top of the first inning. He walked the two first batters that he faced. Sasquatch were able to bring three across after an error in the middle infield. A wild pitch as this one's plastered down the left field line. That'll curve foul. And the Sasquatch struck for four more in the second inning after a couple base hits on some plays that, all things considered, could have been made by the Zap defense. Swing and a miss, and Butcher is finally able to get out of the fourth. But the Sasquatch strike for six more runs. It's 14-0. And it's time for the Zap to dig down deep and find out exactly who they are. We'll see if they can get off the mat and leave here with a little bit of pride as we head to the bottom of the fourth. We'll be back with more Zap Baseball on River 92.7 after this.
At Darren Boyle Sales, I have the Bush Hog equipment on hand to help you with your spring projects. Right now, I have Bush Hog mowers on hand in sizes from 6 to 20 feet. Bush Hog rear-mounted blades. Bush Hog tillage equipment, including 4 sizes of rear-mounted tillers, and Dixie Chopper zero-turn mowers on hand. 3 different models available with prices starting at $49.95. Check out my large selection of farm equipment at the lot on Sale Barn Road in Fort Pierre. Like the Darren Boyle Sales Facebook page or shop online anytime at darrenboylesales.com.
Ameriprise Advisors can work with you to provide personalized goal-based advice based on your short and long-term goals. Plus, you can track your investments and financial solutions with our digital tools and regular meetings. Call Ameriprise Financial Advisor Angie Teason with Wealth Partners, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC, at 605-224-6777. That's 605-224-6777. Office is located at 740 East Sioux Avenue, Pierre, South Dakota. Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
5, 6, and 7 coming up here for the Zap in the bottom of the 4th inning. And if anything, the Zap trying to get themselves anything that they can strike a match with as they will head into this 4-game series with the Casper Spuds this weekend, which will get underway tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which might very well decide the season. This is a complete 180 from the Zap Ball Club we've seen over the past couple of weeks. However, you can't ignore what they've done over the past 2 days. They picked up all 3 games that they have played. An awesome performance on Monday night from River Walters and Cy Taylor, combining for the complete game shutout. They run-ruled Sasquatch yesterday 13-3, and then won game 2 10-4 as Carter Beatty assumes his position on the bump. Actually, 2, 3, and 4 coming up here in the Zap. Got the numbers mixed up between the 11 of Ty Farwell, or excuse me, the 31 of Ty Farwell and the 11 of Quinn Ludvigsen. That off-speed pitch swung on and missed by Taylor. Love these yellow jerseys. I know that there's always some differing opinions. I think they look great. It's just hard to tell the numbers on the backs of these jerseys as Taylor takes ball 1 on the outside corner. Zap have some really, really sharp-looking uniform combinations that they can pull out. I'm a big fan of these yellows. Some of the players were comparing them to the Savannah Bananas jerseys, as this one's a little bit too far inside for ball 2. Of course, we had a great giveaway at DRG Media Group. We had the 4-pack of Savannah Banana tickets for the Loco Beach Coconuts and Bananas game coming up in August out of Minneapolis. As Taylor chops this one down the third base line, backhanded by Muller. He'll fire across the diamond, leaping into the air, and coming down with it on top of the bag in time was Braden Smith. Get back to that giveaway in a second. Those are just the types of plays that the Sasquatch have had go their way that the Oahe Zap just have not. Carbon copy hits, but you know, we saw that same ball roped down the third base line to Mason Melton in the last inning, and it just got by him. High throw for Braden Smith, but it was directly above him, so gravity just pulled him right back down onto the bag. First pitch to Ty Farwell, off the plate for ball 1. And it's just been a little bit of everything for the Zap here this afternoon. Sometimes you got to chalk it up to bad luck and the baseball gods just not being on your side as this one misses high and away. And there's been some of that, but there's also just been some uncharacteristic errors, drops, and missed plays by the Zap defense as well. Carter Beatty finds the inside corner for strike 1 to Farwell. Farwell ahead 2-1, ropes one down the third base line, but Muller is able to sprint to it and make the grab. Seems like every single ball the Zap have put in play, there's a Sasquatch there to make the grab. And the complete opposite, the other side of the coin for the Zap offense. Or excuse me, for the Zap defense rather. The Sasquatch are just finding those little pockets in the defense, and that's the beauty of baseball. You can win in dominant fashion in 3 games against a team, and then just in game 4, it's the other way around. So 2 outs. Here's Connor Goldberg will take a ball down low in the zone. Mason Manning had a great outing in that second game victory yesterday for the Zap. He went 6 innings pitched, gave up 7 hits, and only 2 earned runs as that one catches the zone, and Goldberg can't believe it. However, I will say in a 14-0 affair, when it doesn't look like there's much light at the end of the tunnel, the home plate umpire's zone might start to stretch out a little bit. Here's the 1-1 from Beatty. That one catches a piece as well, and Goldberg is getting more audible. He's going to lose the helmet and take a little stroll back behind the right-handed batter's box. Carter Beatty, seeing an opportunity, will take a stroll off the mound as well.
There's a bit of stretching as well.
Well, he's been sitting in that third base dugout in between the bottom halves of these innings for a while. That one bounced into the chest plate of Elijah Wyatt. Count even up at 2 apiece. Nobody on, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. And when this game does come to an end, if the Zap aren't able to mount the miraculous comeback, would love to be a fly on the wall. Hear Jamie Habiger's message. This one chopped on 1 hop over to Grant Summers at short. He'll fire to first, and that'll be the 3rd out of the inning. No hits, no runs, nobody left for the Zap as we head to the top of the 5th. All Sasquatch in this one.
Since 1894, Ameriprise Financial has worked for their clients' futures, helping millions of Americans retire on their terms. I'm Rick Doctor, a financial advisor with Wealth Partners, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC. I remain true to the vision of always putting clients first. I am ready to help you get where you want to be. Offices located at 740 East Sioux Avenue, Capitol Creek Center, Pierre, South Dakota. Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC. Member FINRA and SIPC.
Your best round of the year is waiting for you just 1 mile north of Fort Pierre on Highway 1806 at Dunes Golf. Play 9 or 18 holes, pay by the round, save with a punch card, or become a member for unlimited play. And Dunes Golf is a great location for group outings or a summer play day. Call 605-223-2525 or see golfdunes.com. 18 holes and a driving range beautifully nestled alongside the Missouri River. It's Dunes Golf.
Dunes Golf, one of our many great sponsors here on River 92.7 for Zap Baseball this summer. Get yourself a round out at Dunes Golf. As the summer comes to a close and we head towards the fall, no better time to play out at Dunes than right now. Colin and Diane have that place looking absolutely spectacular. Also, big thanks to our friends at Darren Boyle Sales. You can find Darren Boyle at the lot on Sale Barn Road over in Fort Pierre, at Family Dental, Rounds Financial Services. We saw Manny Ely make our Rounds Financial Services right on the money highlight earlier in the 2nd inning on that spectacular diving catch in right field. Our friends at Wealth Partners Ameriprise Financial, and our great friends at the Boys and Girls Club of the Capital Area, which is positioned, as you can see on the stream, out there in left center field, run by Steve Steele and his army. As Butcher back out on the mound, first pitch chopped sharply over to Gavin Frazier at short. He'll field and throw over to first. It drew Ludvigsen off the bag, but he was able to stretch that left leg and tap the base for out number 1. And we got a fun event coming up with the Boys and Girls Club of the Capital Area later on this month. We're going to be doing our marathon day of golf for Stanley County Gold on July 27th. It'll be a Monday all-day experience. We're playing 108 holes with Steve Steele to raise money for the Stanley County Gold program. Butcher's first pitch to Crew Muller is chopped foul on the third baseline. We did it last year, raised over $10,000, and I say we. You know, it's Steve Steele and the rest of the folks. The Zap were involved in that last summer. Will Mortensen was involved, of course, a big name around Central South Dakota in the world of politics. As Butcher's second pitch is popped softly over to Quinn Ludvigsen at first. So 3 pitches turn out 2 outs for Brock Butcher here in the top of the 5th. And that's one just amazing thing that Steve Steele does with the Boys and Girls Club of the Capital Area. Wants to help the youth of Central South Dakota, and he does so much. And oh yeah, he spotlights as the head football coach for the Pierre Governor football team that has been to the state championship the last 9 years in a row. First pitch to Wilson Kiefer is in there for strike one. Brock Butcher doing a nice job painting the zone. I just think it's such a testament to the kind of guy Steve Steele is, with as much work as he puts in for the community. And we hope to have him join us in the booth next week when we're here covering the Zap when they host the Bison. First ball of the inning for Brock Butcher comes on the 0-1. That one misses away. So Butcher is human, apparently. But back to regularly scheduled programming for Butcher. He paints the outside corner with a fastball and is ahead 1-2. Zap looking for their first scoreless inning defensively here in the top of the fifth. Butcher working quickly. See if he can chop up the Sasquatch lineup here in the fifth inning. That one up and in, a little chin music. For Wilson Kiefer. 2-2 count, 2 outs, nobody on. Butcher set and delivers this one high and snagged down by Augie Goethals. Healthcare Workers Appreciation Night tonight. Gettysburg baseball team in attendance. Always turning out a good crowd. This one off the neck of the bat. Quinn Ludvigsen sprinting and charging into the netting in front of the Zap dugout for the third out. And for the first time tonight, the Zap have held the Squatch scoreless offensively. We head to the bottom of the fifth inning. Zap looking to make a little bit of noise here on a Wednesday night. We'll be back after this on River 92.7 and drgnews.com.
Since 1894, Ameriprise Financial has worked for their clients' futures, helping millions of Americans retire on their terms. I'm Rick Doctor, a financial advisor with Wealth Partners, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC. I remain true to the vision of always putting clients first. I am ready to help you get where you want to be. Offices located at 740 East Sioux Avenue, Capitol Creek Center, Pierre, South Dakota. Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
At Darren Boyle Sales, I have the Bush Hog equipment on hand to help you with your spring projects. Right now, I have Bush Hog mowers on hand in sizes from 6 to 20 feet. Bush Hog rear-mounted blades, Bush Hog tillage equipment including 4 sizes of rear-mounted tillers, and Dixie Chopper zero-turn mowers on hand. 3 different models available with prices starting at $49.95. Check out my large selection of farm equipment at the lot on Sale Barn Road in Fort Pierre. Like the Darren Boyle Sales Facebook page or shop online anytime at darrenboylesales.com.
Ameriprise Advisors can work with you to provide personalized goal-based advice based on your short and long-term goals. Plus, you can track your investments and financial solutions with our digital tools and regular meetings. Call Ameriprise Financial Advisor Angie Teason with Wealth Partners, the private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC, at 605-224-6777. That's 605-224-6777. Office is located at 740 East Sioux Avenue, Pierre, South Dakota. Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
Quinn Ludvigsen followed by Mason Melton, then center fielder Dom DiCarlo due up here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Time for the Zap Bats to get going, even if it's just to carry some momentum into the massive weekend series against the Casper Spuds. Hello everybody, Justin Cowart alongside Cortana Mancuso. Scott Colomb back in the studio at the new DRG Media Group World Headquarters here in Pierre, keeping us up on air. First pitch to Quinn Ludvigsen from Carter Beatty. Catches the corner for strike one. Hey, we've seen some unbelievable comebacks already today. Of course, the FIFA World Cup semifinals. As Ludvigsen charges this one out to left, back a couple steps is Bo Iandoli. And he'll make the grab for out number one. It was Argentina and England today in semifinal number 2 in the FIFA World Cup. England got the first goal of that match to take a 1-0 lead, and it looked like they might have put the nail in the coffin, but don't forget about Lionel Messi. Even in the twilight of his career, had 2 assists, one in the 85th minute, and won in the second minute of stoppage time to get the 2-1 victory. They'll take on Spain on Sunday afternoon for the World Cup Championship. Mason Melton swings and misses at the first pitch from Carter Beatty. And now he fouls this one off and is quickly behind 0-2. Cortana, have you been paying attention to the World Cup at all this summer?
No, I haven't. I've seen a lot of stuff on TikTok about it, but I've never really watched soccer before. Maybe I'll have to check it out sometime soon, or it's too late.
Well, maybe 4 years from now when you're graduating high school, you can tune in. Here's the 0-2 to Melton. He pops this one off the end of the bat. That'll head towards Hollister Field back behind us. You know, it kind of seems like a constant theme with the World Cup. Folks never seem to really care during the group stages. The U.S., you know, they had a good run this year, but a kind of an embarrassing loss for the U.S. in the round of 16 as Melton will take a ball in the outside corner. But it seems like everybody starts to pay attention until it's almost too late, and they say, man, I wish I had watched more in the earlier stages. Well, this is your reminder that in 4 years you're going to start wanting to watch the FIFA World Cup in group play rather than when the semifinals come around. Melton will take a ball on the inside corner. Evens the count up at 2 apiece. Carter Beatty has gotten into a rhythm and hasn't missed his stride. This one down and away. It'll work the count full. Taking a look at the stat line for Carter Beatty today. He's given up just 1 hit. He's struck out 4. He's in danger of surrendering his first walk of the afternoon here. 3-2 pitch to Melton. That's in the dirt. And so for just the second time today, the Zap have a base runner, and they get it with 1 out. Here in the bottom of the 5th inning. That'll bring up Dom DiCarlo. And we've talked about it quite a bit, but looking at this Casper Spuds series coming up this weekend, could very well be with the way that this game has gone today, the Zap, I mean, just on top of the mountain in terms of excitement after picking up the first 3 games of this series against Spearfish. Carter Beatty not used to working out of the stretch this afternoon, got into the windup stance and then was reminded he's got a runner on first, has to go to the stretch. Mason Melton will be able to take second as this pitch gets away from Elijah Wyatt. So the Zap have a runner on second for the first time since yesterday afternoon. Casper is currently taking on Bison baseball, and they are losing 2-0 in the bottom of the 1st inning. So nobody are bigger fans of Bison than the Oahe Zap today, as this one's ripped sharply down the third base line, but foul. Drew Kloster on the mound for Bison. He was the pitcher that salvaged the series for Bison Baseball Club when they won Game 3 of that weekend set here at Hyde Stadium. Kloster pitched really well against the Zap lineup that has been just tearing it up lately. 16-3 on the Oahe Zap over their last 19. This one bounced, nice block by Wyatt. Melton was about halfway to third before he realized that it was not far enough away from Wyatt to take the bag. Mention that Savannah Bananas ticket giveaway that we had on the airwaves of drgnews.com, as this one's up and into DiCarlo for ball 3. Our friend Mary Farley from Carter, South Dakota won the tickets, and it was such a joy to be able to call her and let her know that she had won. We had over 1,440 entries for that ticket giveaway. Savannah Banana Baseball is the toughest ticket in town, as DiCarlo fouls off the 3-1. She was almost in disbelief that she had won And to sweeten the pot a little bit, she let us know that her grandson was going to be her guest. And it was his 10th birthday coming up. I got to tell you, for a baseball fan and turning 10, no better gift than 4 tickets to the Savannah Bananas. 3-2 pitch is swung on and missed by DeCarlo. That'll be the second out of the inning, and that'll bring up Augie Goethals. So you haven't paid attention to any FIFA World Cup action. Do you know about the Savannah Bananas and all the hype around that?
I know about the Savannah Bananas. I've been wanting to go to a Savannah Banana game ever since I first heard about them.
Well, it is fan first, much like it is here at Hyde Stadium with all of the great things that Carla Miles and Michelle Barrett and the Habigers have put together here this summer as Goethals takes a first pitch strike on the outside corner. Concessions are free at the Bananas games.
Really?
I believe they're still doing that. It's completely centered around the fan experience. Jordan Lutmer and I were talking before the season started, and he said, you know, we don't want to be the Savannah Bananas, but we want to copy a lot of what they do and implement it here at Hyde Stadium. And that's exactly what they've done. Been an awesome summer here in Central SD as Goethals swings and misses at strike 2. But you try to get Bananas tickets. I mean, any venue that they play at, it is immediately sold out. Doesn't matter if it's an 8,000-seat ballpark or a 80,000-seat football stadium. There's not a seat to be had as Goethals fouls that one off. Stay alive. They're going to bump up the fans, run the bases here at Hyde to this next half inning with the mercy rule looming, trailing 14-0 as this one's swung on and fouled off again. Goethals doing a nice job battling here in the box. We'll continue to keep you updated on that Casper Spuds Bison ball game going on there at the end of the first inning. Again, Bison out in front 2-0. Do the 0-2 again. Beatty delivers. This one high for ball 1. If this result holds here, Zap trailing by 2 touchdowns will move back to 500 on the season at 19-19, and then they'll keep their eye on that Bison game. Best case scenario over the weekend as the 1-2 is swung on and missed by Goethals. He tried to tag him, did Wyatt, didn't have the ball in the glove. He's able to get it and throw it down to first in the nick of time for out number 3. So the Zap get the first walk of the day out of Carter Beatty. Mason Melton able to get to second, but he's stranded there, and we head to the top of the 6th. We'll talk more playoff scenario after this break. You're listening to Zap Baseball on River 92.7.
Hey, baseball fans, if you're looking for a podcast that is sports and only sports, then come on into Cowart's Corner. We tackle all the big storylines going on in the world of sports, whether it be football, basketball, baseball, softball, hockey, whatever it is. If it's sports, we cover it. So if you're looking to unwind and have a good time, come into Cowart's Corner with me and my dog Charlie on drgnews.com or wherever you find your podcasts. Your best round of the year is waiting for you just 1 mile north of Fort Pierre on Highway 1806 at Dunes Golf. Play 9 or 18 holes, pay by the round, save with a punch card, or become a member for unlimited play. And Dunes Golf is a great location for group outings or a summer play day. Call 605-223-2525 or see golfdunes.com. 18 holes and a driving range beautifully nestled alongside the Missouri River. It's Dunes Golf.
New pitcher on the mound for the Oahe Zap here in the top of the 6th inning. Looks like Anthony Budmeyer has come in relief. Good outing there by Brock Butcher. Now, we were talking a little playoff scenario, championship series scenario that is, as the fans got. So the Zap currently sitting at 19-18. As we mentioned, if they can't mount the comeback here, they will fall to 19-19 on the season, but with the Casper Spuds trailing 2-0, should that result hold, though they're only through the middle of the 2nd inning, then Casper would drop to 21-17, and it's all about overall record. So best case scenario would be that the Zap would pick up the 4 games in Casper, move to 23-19, and move Casper to an even 500 at 21-21. That is, of course, if Casper lost today, which we're just for scenario's sake treating it like both teams would end up in the loss column this afternoon. If you split the series, then you move to 21-21. If you're the Zap, Casper would move to 23-19. So for the Zap, it is imperative that they win this weekend series, whether that's winning 3 out of 4 or taking all 4, which is a tall task, as Budmeyer's first pitch, I guess, was outside. It looked perfect from up here, and it has been a strike all day for John Benson. But Budmeyer behind 1-0. Make it 2-0. That one well off the plate down in the dirt. Four games in Casper, 4 games back here at home against the Bison. Bison have been playing some good baseball, and I don't know where that pitch was. That was... Budmeyer just not getting any calls from John Benson currently. 2 really good-looking pitches called a ball. So the 3-0. Essentially the same exact pitch. This time it's called a strike. Budmeyer working quickly out of the stretch. This one swung and fouled back into the netting, and the count's run full. So there's a lot of different ways that you could kind of play out the rest of this season. You feel like the Zap will have to, with 10 games remaining, probably go 8-2 to feel like you've got a great chance to get into that championship series. As Budmeyer has this one rifled into center, and that'll get down in front of Dom DiCarlo for a base hit. So that'll bring up Elijah Wyatt. 8-hole hitter, 7-8-9 due up here. See if Budmeyer can get a ground ball, get a quick double play. But maybe this game here can serve as a little fire underneath the Zap to really get them to close out the rest of these 10 games as strong as they have played over the past couple of weeks. Wyatt behind 0-1. This one bounced. Great stop back there by Goethals to keep Zach Perro down at first. Quinn Ludvigsen going to go have a quick chat with Anthony Budmeyer. Ludvigsen has had to do that a couple times today, come over from his position at first base and show off the leadership. As this one's grounded to the second baseman side, Taylor, and it's off his glove, and it'll roll behind the shortstop, Gavin Frazier, and that'll allow Elijah Wyatt to get to third. So that'll be the 4th error of the day for the Zap defense. Second one on a potential double play. Third one committed by the middle infield. All things considered, though, that was a tough play for Cy Taylor to make. Kind of took a strange hop. But when you look at the performance from the Zap defense today, they have not helped out their pitching staff. This is one of those games that you're just going to, you can either use to your advantage to try to get frustrated and try to fire yourselves up, as a beautiful off-speed pitch there from Budmeyer, swung on and missed by Garrett Houston. It's one of those that you want to dig a hole out in center field and take the tape of the bury it. As this one's bounced into the glove of Gothel's for ball 2. But that's the one great thing about Jamie Habiger. He never lets an opportunity go by the wayside. Be able to use this one as a learning experience as this one's popped out into left center. DiCarlo tracks over to his right. He's got it. Elijah Wyatt will tag from third and make it 15-0 Sasquatch. And this is kind of the same stretch from Anthony Budmeyer that we saw from Ryan Wingard. Wingard made some really good pitches, gave his defense some opportunities to make some big plays and get him out of jams. His defense was unable to do so. And it led to a run scored in a plethora of different ways as Bo Iandoli takes a fastball in the outside corner for strike 1. Say all that to just say that starting pitching and relief pitching really hadn't been the issue today. 0-1 count from Bud Meyer. That one high and away for ball 1. And it will also be interesting to see the defensive setup from Jamie Habiger this weekend. Does he opt to move Cy Taylor back over to shortstop, where he has looked like an all-star shortstop throughout the entirety of the summer? Haven't seen him at second base very often. This one's way high for ball 2. Normally we see Cy Taylor over at short and Gavin Frazier at second base, but today got him flip-flopped. Gavin Frazier played a lot of shortstop last summer here for the Zap, so he seems pretty comfortable in that position. But it's tough to move a guy from one side to the other. It's just kind of a different look, but the way the Zap have been playing over the past couple weeks, we never want to question Jamie Habiger's coaching decisions. He has had these guys playing some top-notch baseball. That one bounced in by Budmeyer. One out here in the top of the 6th. Only one scoreless inning from the Sasquatch offense. That came in the top of the 5th. 3 runs in the first, 4 in the second, 1 in the third, 6 in the 4th, and 1 here in the 6th. This one chopped off the plate foul, and that one might have caught a piece of Iandoli, and he is in some pain. This is also something you don't want to see if you're Phil Demas, the Spearfish Sasquatch head coach. One of your top hitters in Bo Iandoli, hitting .375 on the season, 39 hits, close to 30 runs batted in. He's scored over 30 times, and he is still down writhing in some pain. And the way that that ball bounced, it looks like the type of injury that you only see in baseball and you never see in softball, and I'll leave it at that. So Iandoli gets a drink of water from one of the teammates off the bench, and I can tell you from experience, a cup of water doesn't make it feel any better. He'll jump up and down a couple times, shake the head, throw the helmet back on. Well, Iandoli tough as nails, in the Oahe Zap showing some good sportsmanship, pulling together a little meeting on the mound to let Iandoli collect his thoughts. Runner on first, 1 out. 15 runs on 10 hits and 4 errors for the Oahe Zap. Zap offense has mustered 1 hit and 1 walk today, just a stark difference from what we've seen here recently. Top of the 3rd between Bison and Casper. Bison baseball still leading that game 2-0. Iandoli's able to shake it off. Budmeyer will miss on the inside corner, and just Zapper just not getting the calls. But maybe a strikeout here could get this crowd fired up with the beer batter stepping into the batter's box and Malachi Lopez. Double play would sure feel good for the Zap defense here. Get these bats back up in the bottom of the sixth. Zap have 6 more outs to pick up 5 runs and keep this game going. And Budmeier's throwing some really good pitches. They are just not getting called strikes, and that was one of them there. Apparently that one misses on the outside corner for ball 1. And that one hits the back of the head of Malachi Lopez. You could hear the helmet clank when the baseball hit it from all the way up here through the headset. So now the bases are loaded, 1 out. And Grant Summers coming up to the plate. He's only driven in 1 run this summer as he joined this this Sasquatch team late. He's got a good opportunity to add to those numbers here. Sun slowly setting back off behind us in the west, starting to cast some shadows across the infield here. First pitch from Budmeier in there for strike 1. Budmeier working quickly. Nobody up in either bullpen. This one loops in for strike 2. That breeze has just kind of been on cruise control this afternoon. It has just steadily kept blowing across the field here from left to right, blowing back into the hitter's faces ever so slightly as this one's in the dirt for ball 1. Talked a little bit about Steve Steele and the Peer Governors. Football season coming around the corner for the high schoolers as this one's fouled off the leg of Grant Summers. That one was fouled off so sharply it hit his ankle and rolled all the way out to Gavin Frazier at shortstop. So a couple foul balls have tagged some Sasquatch hitters here in this inning. Some more painful than others. 1-2 count. Budmeier delivers. This one line on the left field line, hit sharply but foul. And this is the first time we've had more than just one 4-legged friend in attendance here at Hyde Stadium. Ridge Limebaugh's dog has been made constant and consistent appearances throughout this summer. Gorgeous yellow lab as this one is pounded out to left. Connor Goldberg will backtrack, takes a couple steps, makes the grab for out number 2. Runner will tag from third and score. 16-0 Sasquatches. Elijah Wyatt comes across the plate on the sacrifice fly. Of course, my favorite 4-legged friend Charlie came today. And we've got maybe the youngest fan out of all of them in attendance, a puppy being held by a fan down below. Thing can't be bigger than the size of a high school football. This one bounced in for ball 1. 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Braden Smith at the plate for the Sasquatch. In the dirt, gets away from Goethals. Everybody's going to be able to advance. Throw going down to second. Malachi Lopez in standing safely. If Goethals could have put that one a little bit more on the shortstop side of second base, he might have been able to get the runner tagged. Didn't look like Lopez thought a throw was coming, so he kind of coasted into second base. More on-target throw might have got him. Tough throw to make, though, for Goethals. This one is blistered out into left. What a play out there by Connor Goldberg. He makes the grab. The throw comes in a mile high, but now they might just want to throw the ball to third base. Nobody tagged, and that'll be the end of the inning. Connor Goldberg drops the glove down, pulls it out of the air, and it's out numbers 2 and 3. And now a little bit of confusion on the infield, but we'll have to get this all sorted out. 16-0 the score. The scoreboard reads 17-0. They'll have to make that change as both coaches now getting in the year of John Benson. But a nice play by Connor Goldberg out and left brings the inning to an end. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Zap trailing 16-0 here on River 92.7.
Since 1894, Ameriprise Financial has worked for their clients' futures, helping millions of Americans retire on their terms. I'm Rick Doctor, a financial advisor with Wealth Partners, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC. I remain true to the vision of always putting clients first. I am ready to help you get where you want to be. Offices located at 740 East Sioux Avenue, Capitol Creek Center, Pierre, South Dakota. Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC. Member FINRA and SIPC.
Your best round of the year is waiting for you just 1 mile north of Fort Pierre on Highway 1806 at Dunes Golf. Play 9 or 18 holes, pay by the round, save with a punch card, or become a member for unlimited play. And Dunes Golf is a great location for group outings or a summer play day. Call 605-223-2525 or see golfdunes.com. 18 holes and a driving range beautifully nestled alongside the Missouri River. It's Dunes Golf.
Since 1894, Ameriprise Financial has worked for their clients' futures, helping millions of Americans retire on their terms. I'm Rick Doctor, a financial advisor with Wealth Partners, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC. I remain true to the vision of always putting clients first. I am ready to help you get where you want to be. Offices located at 740 East Sioux Avenue, Capitol Creek Center, Pierre, South Dakota. Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC. Member FINRA and SIPC.
Back here at Hyde Stadium, Manny Ely will be leading things off in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Zap have 6 outs to pick up 7 runs and keep this one going. Hello, everybody. Justin Coward alongside Cortana Mancuso. Scott Colomb back in the booth at the DRG Media Group World Headquarters, as Darren Boyle likes to say. And Cortana, you've only got 4 games left after the weekend series wraps up. Have you enjoyed your summer with the Zap? We'll get that answer in a moment as Manny Ely takes a first pitch strike from Carter Beatty, who's trying to go the distance here for the Sasquatch. And he gets the bottom of the 6th started with a first pitch strike.
Yeah, I've really loved it out here. It's been it's a ball.
Yeah, good. Now she's getting the play-by-play. That one bounced in
It's
for
been
ball 1.
It's been a really great experience, and I'm really glad I got to have it. It was just kind of a family connection thing because
as this one's up and in on Ely for ball 2.
Carla knows Michelle, and Carla knows my mom, and Carla reaches out to my mom and ended up getting me this, and I've really, really liked it. It's been a nice way to spend my evenings.
Carla Miles, as this one's fouled off over the Zap dugout. Count even up at 2 apiece. Carla Miles, who does a lot in Central South Dakota, very heavily involved with the Pierre Wildcats, the Special Olympics team here in Pierre, and running the concession stands. It's been revamped. 2-2 pitch, swung on and missed. As Beatty picks up another strikeout. Beatty's been great today. That is the 7th strikeout on the afternoon. 7 Ks, 1 walk, and just 1 hit surrendered by Carter Beatty. That'll bring us back to the top of the order. And Gavin Frazier. Nobody on, 1 out, and this might be 2 as it's softly grounded to the right side, fielded by second baseman Malachi Lopez. He'll throw a bullet over to Braden Smith at first.
Their defense is just really on it today.
Yeah, it's been very frustrating for Zap players and Zap fans. Sasquatch defense hadn't made any mistakes. And
Really
it seems like all the hard-hit baseballs have gone right to where a Sasquatch defender is sitting.
Yeah.
Bring up Cy Taylor. Taylor will take a first pitch strike. Cy Taylor has not looked like his normal self here today. Couple of errors for Taylor, but does not overshadow the outstanding summer he has had as he takes a ball in the outside corner. One of those pieces that I think Jamie Habiger thanks his lucky stars that he's been able to recruit and bring Taylor in. Swung on and missed it. This one in the dirt for strike 2. Taylor, a .317 hitter here this summer, collected 33 hits. A couple of doubles, had a triple. He's driven in 21 runs and scored 27. That'll swing and a miss. Will be strike 3. In the dirt, thrown down by Wyatt, and Cy Taylor is hobbling a little bit, and that's the last thing that you want to see here if you're the Oahe Zap, your star shortstop / second baseman, hobbling out of the box in a 16-0 game. So we'll keep an eye on Cy Taylor. I have to imagine his day is done. They'll probably go somewhere else and let him try to get rested up before the big series coming up this weekend. We head to the top of the 7th inning. Bud Meyer going back out onto the mound for the Zap, trailing 16-0 here on River 92.7 and streaming live on drgnews.com.
Hey, baseball fans, if you're looking for a podcast that is sports and only sports, then come on into Cowart's Corner. We tackle all the big storylines going on in the world of sports, whether it be football, basketball, baseball, softball, hockey, whatever it is. If it's sports, we cover it. So if you're looking to unwind and have a good time, come into Cowart's Corner with me and my dog Charlie on drgnews.com or wherever you find your podcasts. Your best round of the year is waiting for you just 1 mile north of Fort Pierre on Highway 1806 at Dunes Golf. Play 9 or 18 holes,